Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we'll take a look at Solana. Is Solana decentralized? Cloud provider Hedgener bans raises question. So we've got plenty of Solana news to go through today. Before we continue, allow me to declare this video is not financial advice, it's strictly for educational purposes. Solana as a blockchain network depends heavily on the company. So cloud provider Hedgener has banned Solana. The blockchain network depends heavily on the company, which bans all Solana activities on its server. Now this is Hedgener Online, a German cloud service provider. They moved to block all Solana activities on its server by Wednesday, instantly taking over 1,000 Solana validators offline. While the affected nodes are largely back online, the action triggered a broader discussion in the crypto community about the increasing influence of centralized service provider in controlling the fate of supposedly decentralized blockchain networks. Now, approximately 40% of all Solana validators and 20% of the network total stake were housed on Hedgener as recently as August, according to independent analyst by Google Cloud engineer Sam Padilla. And this is that said tweet. Sam just talking about the ban that's happening in terms of Solana nodes. Mentioning the infrastructure decentralization of Solana throughout August. And apparently at the time, 40% of Solana validators lived on Hedgener, adding up to 20% of total network stake. Now this is a full thread and it goes through even more information. The real question is, how could this affect Solana long term? Now while the event did not crash Solana, that would have required taking 39% of the network total stake offline. That's halting its consensus mechanism and cutting off network activity. Now it did highlight the increase in independency of networks like Solana on individual service providers like Hedgener. Now Hedgener, along with centralized cloud service provider Equinix and Amazon Web Services, hosted a whopping 65% of Solana's stake in August. This is according to Sam Padilla. A decision by those companies to deny service to Solana validators would instantly derail an offline network, which taught itself as the most centralized resistance blockchain network in the world. So this is a big twist. Now after this ban, Solana validators who stake largely quantities of Solana with the network to earn more Solana and keep Solana proof of stake consensus mechanism operating by processing blocks of network and transactions. They raced to find a new service provider and get their stake back online. A representative of Solana Foundation told Decrypt that Hedgener ban would not meaningfully impact Solana, as validators have many alternative options for service providers. And we've got a quote from Solana representative, and I quote, "This decision by Hedgener was certainly unfortunate, but not entirely unexpected." They also said that there are hundreds of data centers that Solana operate out of, so those impacts are migrating to new locations. Operators either manage to move or the stake would be deactivated, a separate source told Decrypt on Thursday. Now keep in mind, it was recently that something similar happened. Ethereum's node largely run on cloud service. This hosts say they're banned. Popular cloud service provider Hedgener hosts over 10% of Ethereum nodes, but the company says this violates its terms of services. So what could this mean for the future of decentralized cryptocurrency? Could more ban be on the horizon? This is a particularly difficult thing because obviously platforms like Solana, they heavily depend on service providers, cloud service providers. So how do you think this will affect Solana, Ethereum, and many other networks in the future? Will other cloud service providers attempt to block Solana and Ethereum and other decentralized networks? In other news as well, Solana NFT surged 170% as Utes complete delayed rollout. If you want to take a look at Utes, this is an example of the NFTs in questions. Let's zoom in just a little bit. So these are said NFTs, quite a bit different from what we've seen before, but it's typically the same thing, the same base design of an NFT character, but it's just changed around as much as possible to create that differences. But it certainly is something new, and it certainly is something we can look forward to seeing different versions of. Now another Solana news as well, Solana network upgrade. In order to strengthen the Solana network in the face of massive users growth and adoption, engineers have been working on a number of upgrades. This page will allow the greater Solana community to see how upgrades are processing. Live on the mainnet beta. Solana uses a custom raw UDP-based protocol to pass transaction between RPC nodes and current leaders. Since USP is connectionless and lacks both flow control and receipt acknowledgements, there is no meaningful way to discourage or to mitigate abusive behavior. So in order to effect control over network traffic, Solana transactions ingestions protocol is being re-implemented atop Quink. So this is Quink, a protocol built by Google. Astroneos communication like UDP, but those sessions and flow control like TCP, once adopted, there'll be additional options available to adopt and to optimize data questions. Next up is stake weight QoS. Leader network bandwidth is fixed capacity. To effectively use it, stake weighting is needed to end the practice of indiscriminately accepting transaction on a first come first served basis without regard for sources. Given that Solana is proof of stake network, it is natural to extend the utility of stake weighting to transaction quality of service. Under this model, for example, a node with 0.5 stake will have the right to transact at least 0.5 of the packet to the leader, while the rest of the network and no combination of the remaining stake will be able to fully wash them out. Next up is this thing called free market. Once ingested, transaction completed for modifying shared account data. This contention has been dealt with by simple first come first serve to similar network ingestions, leading users no means to express the urgency of their transaction execution. Solana has more as well: transaction size increase, compact votes. Now transactions on the network are currently limited to a maximum of 1,232 bytes. This limitation restricts that ability to program the compose with each other, as the transaction has a specific amount of data to fit. With the implementation of Quink, the possibilities of increasing transaction size is within the reach. Vote transactions on the network are the most common transactions across all nodes. A large voting schema both increase the amount of bandwidth used by a network as well as the block size. Lowering the vote state even by a few bytes can lead to substantial improvement on the network as less data is being transmitted and stored on the network. The compact vote state is being tested in features, which is currently live on the testnet. So those are some big Solana news, and there's much more to go through, but perhaps I should make another video talking about everything else. Plenty of Solana updates and news. Right now the token price is $35.30, and the last 24 hours we have seen an uptick in the price of Solana. Not just Solana, but other cryptocurrencies on the market as well. For the last 7 days it's been slightly volatile. It's been as low as $30 at certain points, so that's quite interesting. But in the last month it's where it's been its cheapest, $27 at its lowest point. So even within the last 3 months, you can still see that we're really undervalued. We're not at $40 yet, and we're not at $50 yet, still undervalued. But I believe in the near future, we'll be seeing Solana getting back to $50 quite soon. I'm confident in that. Because regardless of everything that's going on with Solana, they're still holding strong with a market cap of over $12 billion. They're still one of the top 10 coins in the world, in fact ranked 10 by market cap. Rather impressive. And as you can see, many other coins have been having an uptick recently, especially in the last 24 hours. BNB has been having a great uptick in the last 7 days. It's been good to see, from $302 to $355. Rather impressive. And even more impressive once you look out a month behind. Bitcoin has been as low as 19,000, 18,000 sometimes. In the last week, it's definitely been trying to get back up to over 20 grand, and it's done that, 21 grand. I made a video quite recently, when will Solana hit $500? I still think in the next bull run, we could definitely hit $500, especially with Solana expanding its ecosystem. But short term, we're looking at $50 to $100. That's what I'm keeping an eye on. But I hope you enjoyed this video today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.